Okay, so I guess we start. Yeah. We start with the short meditation, contemplation. First, just to settle, to open, to relax. Kind of, the goal or the purpose of why one is doing spiritual practices is so that you're open and relaxed, more happy, basically. There's a lot of well-being. But before we attain that, sometimes we have to make some effort, and this is why we have to learn to sit. And we should never forget this whole path. Nobody says you have to do, or this is not allowed, or anything like that. All of what you hear basically is a training. So also the main topic of this weekend is kind of appreciating our human life, but also we need to know what we want to appreciate, why we want to appreciate it. This is why I was talking quite a bit about the past also. So that already, for those who are new, so already you hear the words. So then as you continue, all of a sudden it starts to click. So I'm sorry if I made you confused last night, but there will be a whole weekend on what is a body of a Buddha. So don't worry, you will get to know that. But I think also at the beginning of if you at the same thing, at the beginning of a therapy, you need to know what am I working with, how am I working to go to that, with that, and what is the result of it. So this is why one always kind of gives you also the structure of this path, so you know kind of where you are. And don't worry, if you continue, then it will become more clear. If you don't continue, it doesn't matter really. We don't have to understand everything all the time. It's okay. Also, we can also a little bit relax. So the main point now, what we're doing is that you learn techniques, that you train to when things get tight, and when there's discontent, or when there's like rejection or things like that, that you learn to open up. Because then also that for daily life is really, really helpful. That I feel myself, through these 25 years of training, I have, in terms of results, very little results. And sometimes I don't even notice the result. But also as I was getting into the plane was coming in chock-a-block full, it was a big plane. And it took a long time for people to put up their things, because most of them have now these little suitcases with them. So then they don't have enough space, and then they have a suitcase in the bag and this and that. And the crew was kind of urging people, please hurry up, make the aisles free so people can board, because we have to leave. And I could feel myself just very naturally standing there and going to the breath and opening up and just, So sometimes I don't even notice how this already works automatically. That's what it means, effortlessly. That by nature or by just normally or naturally, when things are starting to get tight, the mind goes somewhere where I can open up. And it's not that then it goes quicker, but at least I'm not behind pushing and this and that. And then I started to have a very nice conversation with the flight attendant, who was standing behind me with her champagne and her to bring that to the business class people. So we started to have a conversation. I said, I would like to let you through, but I can't. She said, yeah, it's okay. So then another one came and said, oh, I had you on the flight before. And I said, I don't remember. And then I started talking to those. So the moment you are in a relaxed state, I think also people around you, they feel it. Yeah. And you feel so much more at ease. This is the thing, yeah? It's not, as I said, it's not that it happens faster, but you feel so much more at ease. So this is why we do actually quite long hours, not hours like Zoom, like this, but quite a lot of time, periods of just sitting and just training the mind to come back to the object again and again and again and again. And it doesn't, I'm sure Glenn told you, it doesn't matter what the object is, right? Like there's very high objects like nature of the mind, for example. It can be the figure of a Buddha that you visualize, because it gives you some it gives you some positive energy by visualizing the Buddha, and that can be of help at the time of death, for example. But then, for many people, it's the breath, because if you have a lot of thoughts, then the breath is the best one to just calm down those thoughts. So, of course, nature of the mind sounds maybe more spectacular than the breath, but I'm using the breath because I have a very busy life. So also me, I'm not quite sure what nature of the mind, I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at, to be honest. So then I get, in the meditation itself, I get confused, whereas if I go in breath, out breath, in breath, out breath, I know what I'm supposed to look at. Yeah, so I'm more for, me personally, I'm more for simple things. But there's other people who really get this kind of teaching on the nature of the mind and know how to look at it and are not confused. So that's very good. So then you use that. But don't choose your object of meditation because it's more high or more spectacular or whatever. I'm pretty sure Glenn told you these things as well.
Yes, you can choose the object of meditation.
Yeah, you use the one that you feel most comfortable with. This is very important, because how otherwise the mind is going to stay on it if it doesn't feel comfortable. So even the breath, you can choose a part in your body where you feel it the most and where it feels the most comfortable. Something that makes you open, something that makes you feel at ease. Yeah, that is important. And then you stay there though, then you don't switch all the time. Okay? All right? Everybody? Okay, so we try. It's training, so like with every training, we need to do it. It's like, it's nice to talk about it, and it's very quickly understood up here, but then doing it is a little bit, it takes time. Okay. Okay, so then first, as always, you become aware of your body. You check your posture. And best if you let go, which is very difficult, of all expectations, what should happen now in this time that we're sitting quietly. It's very easy said, let go of all expectations, but they're so deep-rooted. And we have so many ideas about what meditation is all about, or what it is, what should happen, what is not allowed to happen. So just make a decision. Nothing needs to happen, but I allow everything to happen. Totally open up, with a lot of curiosity also. Not to block anything, not to manipulate anything. Basically, for a short time, nothing to do, nothing to manipulate, nothing to will. And the more relaxed you are, the better you can sit still. So then again, before you go to your object, we can do what we did yesterday. If you don't need it, then don't do it. But if it might be of some help, also really brings you to the present. That when you breathe in, you become aware of a part of your body, like usually one starts with the feet and with the legs. You're totally aware of that area by breathing in. You feel all the sensations there, you don't judge them, you're just aware of them. And by breathing out, you think that everything relaxes in that part of the body, down to the smallest cells. When the mind moves away somewhere else, you come back to that area by breathing in. And by breathing out, everything opens. You can have the visual image of little flowers, your cells there, the muscles, the cells that open up when the sun shines on them. That the area there becomes soft, open, relaxed, spacious. Then you come up to your buttocks, your stomach, the area around the genitals themselves, abdomen, lower back. So again, by breathing in, you're totally aware of that area. Breathing out, it becomes very spacious. Everything relaxes and opens up. Again, when you get lost, just bring the mind back to that area. Then you move up to your chest and your upper back. Then your shoulders, breathing in, being totally aware of that area, breathing out, opening up, making it spacious. And very often when we do that, then we notice only then that we're holding small tensions there. Then you move down your arms towards your hands and fingers. Notice the sensations, especially in the hands and in the fingers. Like these sensations are always there, we just don't notice them. So very often we're quite separate from what is actually happening at the moment. Up to your neck and your throat. And then your face. It's good to pay some attention to the muscles around the jaws themselves, that sometimes we clinch together. And then the area around and behind the eyes. You let the eyes drop so that they're totally relaxed. And no tension in the face either. And then, so whatever object you have chosen for your meditation, you go to that object. And then in a very simple way, if the mind moves away, if the attention moves away, without judging, without getting frustrated, you just bring it back, really knowing that it takes a long time for the mind to be stable. It's just training, and that's what we do. Every time we bring the mind back, every time we notice that it wasn't there, you deepen the habit a little bit of the attention to be with the object. So no need to hurry up. No need to be too tight about this, but also don't be too loose. To let the mind wander wherever it wants to wander, because that can also become a habit. And just very simply bring it back to your object. Okay, and again we can do a short contemplation, what one would do at the beginning of the day anyway. Like setting up a motivation, not just for the day, but actually for your whole life, or even as a Buddhist, until for awakening. So one would think, as a Buddhist, I go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, until I attain full awakening. And why? Then by practicing 6 perfections and so on, may I be of benefit to all sentient beings. So that's a very, very high goal. It's a very far-reaching attitude. So then now you from your own side, you start to also look, what do I want? What is the purpose of my life? How can I give meaning to my life? What, for me, does it mean having a meaningful life? And then comes this next point. This is what we are doing this weekend. Do I have what I need in order to lead that meaningful life? So that we start to really appreciate the situation when we see, and when we can kind of, instead of always pointing out faults or what is lacking, we can start to appreciate the qualities that we already have. We all have the potential to be kind. We all have the potential to think and figure things out. Most of us have a lot of freedom to be able to make choices. What they want to do with their life.